Alabama Governor Bob Riley is putting an emphasis on protecting Mobile Bay. Yesterday, the governor announced a plan to seal off the bay with booms should oil threaten. Fox 10 News reporter Libby Amos is live along Mobile Bay right now with more on this. Libby?
Good evening, Bob. I talked to about a dozen people today all along the bay. They all seem to say they do think that crews are doing everything they can to protect the bay, but many of them say they just wish they could see for themselves more being done. 16 days after the spill and still no oil to be seen in Mobile Bay. But residents are still on standby, keeping a close eye on the situation.
I don't think there's any limit to what they should not stop trying everything. Anybody that has an idea, that idea should be taken into consideration.
Herb McKee lives along the bay and comes to the Fairhope Pier every day. He says it's his very own sanctuary.
And for us locally who love to fish this bay and wade fish it, we're worried about what it's going to do to the fish here, and as well as all the other wildlife. We feed Henry here on the pier every morning some fish when we catch them, and he's a pelican, and we're going to miss him if this oil split comes in and kills wildlife off. So we're very concerned about those issues.
Crews are working on and offshore to stop the oil from flowing and contain what has already spilled in the Gulf. Mobile Bay keepers aim to protect the bay at all cost. They say every effort is needed in preparation for what is lurking offshore.
And we need 53 miles across the front, and then we need to go behind that, and we need to put protections in places all along, especially our grass beds and sensitive areas.
Now, the mouth of Mobile Bay, which is directly in front of me right now, is roughly 4 to 5 miles wide. And Bob, like you mentioned, yesterday the governor suggested booming off the mouth of the bay in order to protect it, leaving a small area open for ships to pass in and out of. Now, booming has already begun around certain areas of the bay, but again, people around here really are still very concerned about what could potentially happen if that oil moves up into this part of the bay.